For those of you who ever contemplated writing a book or started writing a book and didn't complete it, or you wrote one and now it's sitting on your shelf doing nothing, this video may be for you. In this video, what I'm going to be sharing are the steps, the final of the 5 steps to get your book out there and take your knowledge, your expertise, and your personal stories, create a book out of it, and then generate revenue. And there are many benefits to writing a book. If you started with this video series, we talked about the benefits. It's not only for yourself. It's not only to generate money, to help other people, to get your ideas and self-reflection down. There's a plethora of different benefits from writing a book, and I found it a rewarding experience. I know other people who have done it, and they've had some great experience as well. And so that's the challenge for some of the people who are tuning in, who are looking to do something a little bit different, get a little bit different results in this year. They want to challenge themselves. They want to have more experiences, new opportunities in their lives. Writing a book is one way to do that. And so we're going into step 5 of 5, and this one is really to publish and promote. So if you've been following this video series, what we've done this far, we thought about what we were going to write about, who we're going to talk to, what purpose we're going to serve with it. We researched, we looked at different examples of things that we liked and that were successful already. And then we decided we're going to record our ideas, get our stories out there, shape them into the content of the book, and then we edited and refined them. It's a pretty straightforward process. But now coming to step 5, what we're going to do is publish and promote. So if you have your draft done of your book and you've had your editor look over it, it's already wordsmithed. Now it needs to be transformed and formatted for a professional book. And so either you need to learn how to do this or you need to work with somebody with the experience. It's probably going to be best if you hired somebody who is affordable and could offer their services. They know what they're doing. They know how to lay out a book. They know what fonts to use, what size of the font, what the line height should be, how much white space should be there, how to break out the callouts. And they're going to do a nice job with that. There's some books that you've probably had that have been self-published that look like they didn't put time or energy into that. They just dumped their document into a printer and it shows. And it's a little bit harder to read. It makes the product not look as good, and therefore people don't tend to value it as much. So we want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, and it's formatted in a way that people will look at it and say, this looks like some thought and consideration was put in there, and it's easier to read, and it looks sharp. It's the same thing for the cover. The cover and the graphics of the book. You want that to look really good too. It doesn't need to be epic and mind-blowing, but you do want it to reflect what you're trying to portray. You want it to match your personal values, your personal brand. You want it to express the sort of feeling that you want people to have when they're looking at the book. And sometimes you may have your own personal preferences, but there's laws of design. There are laws of design out there using different colors, using different imagery, using different font sets, different layouts, that when you are done in a certain way, it's going to convey an emotion among a majority of people. So if you want it to be exciting and wow and flashy, or if you want it to be sort of regal, very corporate and straightforward, it's going to have a different look and feel. I saw a little thumb go across. Thank you, little thumb. Thank you for any support or any comments you would like to share. So now that you have taken the time and had your book produced, you've got it formatted, and you have the graphics done, you have the cover done, and it looks great, you can either do a few different things. Now, some people want to get their books published by a publisher. Now, if we were going to do that, we would have had a step way back in the beginning that would have been talking about that. What I'm looking to do is create some guidance for some people who are out there who have some thoughts, they have some ideas, and they want to put their books into a story. And maybe they're not wanting to be an author at this point, as far as become an actual professional author, but they're looking to get their book out there, put it in people's hands, and start transforming other people's lives and start benefiting from it. They're looking for the quickest way to put something out there that's effective. And so self-publishing is a great option to consider. When you self-publish, you just put your product together and then you can put it out there. And the benefit there is you don't need to jump through all the hoops of trying to find a publisher. Get your story together, and you can put it out there. You can start getting feedback. You can start transforming people's lives immediately. And then once you have some more experience, once you have some feedback, if you want to pursue getting it published by a publisher, you can do that. But there's, in this time, this day and age, there's pros and cons of doing that. Just like the music industry, how some people who used to publish their music through big record labels, now a lot of artists are publishing themselves online, and because of the tools and technology we have, they could benefit more from doing it themselves. And that's similar with putting your book out there. I'm not going to say it's the same, because if you had, a really big publishing company pick up your book and they were going to deploy it out and make you a superstar, that's amazing. But that's a completely different gig. And a lot of different work that you'd need to put into that. But if you're wanting to get your story together, create a book, share it with your friends, your family, your coworkers, the people that you encounter, share it with other people in the world, generate some revenue with that, you can do that with self-publish, and that's a great first step. And that's going to be much easier to execute, and you can still get some amazing results from it. Okay? So, you can also take your book files and you can go to a printer. You can have a printer print your book for you. So they're going to print the book, and then you'll get so many copies. Now, typically you do them in bulk and you get a better deal. And then maybe you pay $3 to $4 for a book, and you could sell it for $10, $15, $20, depending on the size of your book. You could sell it for different amounts. And there's some strategies and techniques that you could pair some other things with your book and maybe charge a bit more for people who want a bit more. And so that way you don't have to worry about having to sell thousands of books. You can buy a few hundred and sell those. You could buy 100 and work through selling those, and then take the money that you generate from selling those books and buy some more, and begin to work on the other part, the promotional part. Actually, you should do that before, but you can accelerate and amplify your promotional efforts. Is that making sense? Excellent. So it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. Another option that you're probably aware of is you can take your files and you can upload them to a service like Amazon.com, and they'll sell the book online, and they'll actually print it on demand, and they'll ship it out for you. They'll take care of all that. So you put your book up there, you tell people to go there, people buy it, Amazon prints it, ships it, and then you get a percentage of the sale. That's really easy. You can promote your book, you can get people to buy it. There's a lot of ways you can promote it and get a lot of people to it. And then you don't have to worry about getting the book printed, having all these quantities, or having to sell all these books, having the books to keep in track of. So that's a really good benefit too. You can upload an e-version of it, like a Kindle version, and people can download the e-version. You can even take the book and have it turned into an audiobook, produced into an audiobook. So some people may want the physical book and hold it. Some people, they use their reader, their e-reader, so they just rather have the digital. And some people like listening to books. That's a great way to learn more, gain knowledge while you're driving. So having different versions of your book available for people, making it really easy for them to get online is a great way. And having some copies with you on hand if you're doing any speaking events, or if you have people coming to a function of yours, if you work at a certain place where you can connect with people, that's another way to get the book out there. It's always nice to be able to personally hand someone a physical product. So you've produced it in one of those ways, and then you've got to promote it. You got to tell the world and start getting people to be aware of your book and why they should check out your book, why they should read it. What benefits would they have from reading your book versus all the other books that are out there? There's a lot of other books out there, and not everyone can read every book. And sometimes if you've wrote a book about your personal life and your personal story and people don't know who you are, what you're about, they may wonder, why should I read your book? So that's one of the things you need. We worked on earlier when we were planning the goals for the book. What is the value proposition? So now you need to communicate that out, why people should read this book, and then get it out in as many places as you can. You can do a press release. You can put it on your social media. You could put it on your email signature. You can also offer it when you're doing speaking events, things of that nature. And there's some other strategies that you can consider too. You can do videos or podcasts. You can be a guest on other people's podcasts or video series. And you want to connect with people that have an audience, tell them what you did, what it meant to you, and how it's going to benefit the other person who may consider reading it. And then give them some sort of incentive to check it out. One cool technique I've seen done, and that could be really effective, is to make sure that you have a really good sample of your book. Something that's really good. Maybe taking some of the greatest material and turning that into like a PDF or a video clip or an audio clip. And then inviting people to download a free sample or check out a free sample. Make that sure that that clip, that preview, like a movie trailer, is very engaging and impactful. In fact, you may even want to make a trailer for your book that really is engaging and impactful and can stir up the emotion in the person who is considering on reading the book. So then you take that and you promote it, you share it with other people. You can even work out some sort of affiliate plan by connecting with other people who have an audience and say, hey, this is something I'm looking to get out there, and if you can help people check this out, then I'll give you a portion of any sales made from this effort. So there's a lot of different ways, and there's more ways you can obviously market the book. But those are some of the few ways. The thing is, you need to have a strategy, a game plan, track and measure, see what works, and you need to take the action. What I see a lot of people do that's not beneficial is they write the book, they have a launch party or something of that nature, and then they'll make some sales. Then the sales will dwindle a little bit because a lot of their friends and family get the book. And then maybe they'll try to push it out a few more times. They don't get the response. And then they taper off and kind of the book collects dust. And to them it's old and not relevant. But to the world it may be new and relevant. So in this post, one of my hashtags was Positive Warrior. If you're familiar with Native Americans, Sitting Bull had a reference of Positive Warrior and what Positive Warrior was. So he said, warriors don't have to go out there and fight and kill and destroy. A warrior can fight in other ways. They can fight by making other sacrifices and taking other challenges to make that positive impact. So that's the way my mindset is working when I'm working on promoting my book, and the way I would suggest you can consider as well. If you have a message you believe in, if you have a message that you feel passionate about, and you believe it can help other people, then you need to be the positive warrior to go out there and put that message in people's hands. You need to be the positive warrior to go out there and engage with people and let them know how you can help them out and call them in. That's the vision. That's the goal, is to get people to come in. Not only just to get the book, but to read it, to understand it, to implement it and have that transformative effect that we set in step 1 that you wanted them to have. And when they change and they implement, that ripple effect that they have changed will transform not only them, their family, their friends, their community. It goes on. It goes on. So each time you do something like that, the impact is incredible. Up here you see a picture of my father, and that's me. That's my son. People, they have values. They have knowledge, and we can pass them down. When you write a book, you record your thoughts, your ideas, and your experiences. And you can share them not only with people right in the immediate future, you can pass them down from generation. You can share them with other people around the world. It helps yourself, it helps others. So make a difference. Challenge yourself to do this challenge. Write a book this year. I'm currently working on a mini course that will guide you through the process. If you have interest, feel free to chat me below. I'm looking right now for some people to get involved as I'm developing the product. I think it's going to be a great year. I'm excited to work with thought leaders who are committed to making a positive change, not only for themselves, but for their others that are in the world. Being a positive warrior. This is how we can make the world better, not focusing on what other people said on social media that made us upset. That does nothing but have us focus on the wrong thing. So be the thought leader, create your own dialogue, and help make this world a better place in your own way. I saw some thumbs go by. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I am excited to be starting on the second week of 2017. We had a busy week last week. There was a nice holiday break over December and had to get back at it last week, and a lot of stuff was going on. But here we go. We're at a fresh start of a new week, and I encourage you to inspire you to really consider writing your book. If you're thinking about it, go ahead and comment it in. What might you write about? Comment it in this chat. And if you've already written a book, go ahead and feel free to share a link to your book. I'll gladly promote it and share it. Thank you for your support. Shares are appreciated, and I look forward to connecting with you again in the future. If you haven't done so already, you can connect with me on my business page at facebook.com/kenny.harper.rocks. Thanks again. I appreciate you. Love.